We want Ukrainians to come back, and now after more than 8 million people are abroad, then we need to create these conditions for them to stay. And of course, investments and economic opportunities are very much in the list of needs.
Infrastructure is the most important, but at the same time we have to work on different issues. We have to work on reforms, we have to work on society. We need to help society to recover from the war. We have a lot of people who receive casualties, we have people who have psychological problems, and we need to also support those people. In addition, we need to work on economy. We need to boost economy, create jobs, and also try to help people to return to their homes.
We need financing for recovery as fast as possible. We lost the previous summer when there was practically no funding from international donors, and there is still a high risk that we will lose this summer. That is critical for rebuilding housing and critical infrastructure, so that Ukrainian refugees could return to their homes, and economy of the occupied regions, for example, could start working again.
Ukrainian reconstruction is really about building a strong Ukraine, so that protects Europe not just militarily, but can withstand any further invasions. It has to be the economy of the 21st century. This is why it has to be, we have to reinvent, it has to be something new. We're talking a lot about building back better. I think many people are questioning this back part. We don't actually want to build back, right? We don't want just to rebuild what we had. We want to really build forward and build a sustainable country and a green country. And a green economy is one of the concepts I think that we also have to discuss of what we are building there in Ukraine.
So the first probably means is to ensure transparency, so data access, capacity also to look transparently at the state of play, but also about the needs as assessed by the Ukrainian government.
There is a lot at the moment that is not being discussed publicly, and I think this is one of the interesting parts, is that for example, we had recently an energy strategy that the government adopted. It never showed it to Ukrainians in Ukraine, but it's planning to show it in London tomorrow. And I think this kind of thing should not happen when we talk about a proper participation of civil society. We have to make sure that first we discuss it at home, and then we move to international discussions.
Ukraine has a very vibrant civil society, already had for many years, especially after the Maidan Revolution, the Euro-Maidan Revolution in 2014. So I think we're actually pretty well set up. I would say it has a role to play in providing feedback when it comes to recovery and reconstruction, and making sure that the coordination between local power and the central power is essentially there, and that information flows seamlessly.
It's one of the reasons why I think Ukraine is investable today, because there are organizations and there are individuals and there are, not just in civil society organizations, but also in law firms and in consultancies, people who want to do the right thing. And I think working together, seeing it as a common objective to achieve a better investment environment. For example, again, thinking narrowly about our part of the world, I think there's a lot that can be done together with civil society to make it a more investable place.
That depends on who's meant to support it and when, under what circumstances. So everybody can do what is in their capacity. Local governments, municipalities will obviously do it. The civil society will do it as long as there's interest and as long as there's some topic of pertinence. The central government will do it. It all depends on the architecture that we have for the recovery effort, and that's key in terms of establishing it at this point, making sure that all sorts of externalities are really taken account of. So we need to make sure that the institutions are there to really help make sure that process is seamless, all the externalities are taken account of, and that everything is coordinated properly.
We need money to fund our economy. We need investments to extend economy. We also need technologies to be more efficient and more productive. And also it will create jobs for Ukrainians, and those who abroad might return to Ukraine because they will have some opportunities to live.
I think investing in companies and even while the war is ongoing, investing in companies that can then have an impact in their communities and provide employment and be engaged generally internationally with partners, I think is a powerful way to do that. It's not the only way by any means, and there are clearly a range of issues that are not touched by just business, but if you, again, thinking from what we do, I think the investment environment and investing and catalyzing that investment is super important, really important to making this work for Ukrainians today.
To support the economy, we would definitely need the money coming from abroad, because what we say we have talented people, and even now we see that there are some new businesses open in Ukraine. Of course, in these conditions it's extremely difficult, but we would need the investments to come, but in the same time Ukraine would need to ensure the accountability mechanism, transparency mechanism, just to see that all the investors are protected. But for this, the EU membership, which is kind of becoming closer for us now, it's additional leverage for these reforms and openness of the market.
We need to create facilities, and we need to give them a chance to understand what kind of opportunities they will have if they come back. For example, we need to invite them to steering committees of reconstruction, or steering committee of digitalization of Ukraine, or invite them to write innovation programs for Ukraine, for recovery or for development, etc. Also, we need to open the program for like educational program, or like PhD program, or especially I like the way how Ministry of Digitalization suggest and introduce to the Ukrainians that what kind of spheres we need develop.
I think, again, you specifically would react only worse to anyone, but specifically people like older and in power telling them they need or they have to return. This is not the way to go. Any kind of political decisions or easing in getting into business, or maybe easing in getting into becoming part of reforming, becoming part of rebuilding, anything that could help and will show to people that, look at us, we're open. What we are talking here is that Ukraine basically needs to advertise itself.
I think that reconstruction of Ukraine will have the best chances to be successful if it is in the framework of Ukraine's accession into international structures, namely NATO and the European Union, because both of them will make some kind of a framework, both for transparency, both for democracy, both for also for some kind of transparency. And Ukrainians have incredibly high support towards integration of Ukraine with Western world, and that's why this kind of coincidence will play in favor of increasing this trust towards reconstruction generally.